Hey everyone, this is Matt Estasio with the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm here with Andrew Schoenwetter and Sylvia, Mama Schoenwetter, right?
Mama
Hello.
Show.
Awesome. They own Beans, Greens, Protiens in Aurora, and they're here to talk a little bit about their business, give us some insight about what they're doing in Aurora. They do more than just make green drinks. They're doing some awesome stuff in the community. They're a really big part of Aurora. They've been in that town for forever since.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. So why don't we start with you, Andrew? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you started in this business? What's your background?
So what got me started in this business through my own routine, like beans, greens, proteins. That came from like my own routine of drinking coffee in the morning. I have a juicer, so I'd make juice and then protein shakes. So then just one day, beans, greens, proteins is like what I already drink on a daily. So the concept and the idea, I did a lot of moving around. So I lived on the West Coast, and over there they have a lot of juice bars. And so when I moved back over here, I didn't have anywhere to go get my juice. I had nowhere to get my juice. So, I had my own juicer, but in our family, we actually went through some things. My brother, when he was 30, had his first stroke. And then my dad, he passed away from cancer.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks. And so it was kind of like this. Something hit me as an entrepreneur. Like, okay, we need to do something. We need to provide some products that are healthier, and delicious and nutritious for the community. And in Aurora, you got taco shops left and right. You got fast food all over the place. But there's nowhere really where it's like, oh, I need to get something healthy. This is where I'm going to go. So I wanted to create that go-to place. And I asked my mom over here, Mama Show, hey, what do you think about this idea? Is it something that you'd be interested in going in? Because, it's her husband, it's her son, so she witnessed, how health can really affect, people and your family. And then, just this last year, she lost her sister to health complications. So for her, it really hits home for me as well. So I extended the offer out to her. I said, hey, do you want to go in on this? She likes to cook. She's been here in Aurora for a long time. And so she's like, yeah, let's do this. So we actually started with the tent and then moved into the location that we have now.
Wow. So you guys were in an outdoor tent to start with?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really
interesting.
Yeah, so my background a little bit is, I had a food truck out in Vegas, so I really like being out in that scene, out at events, different venues, concerts or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so it's a lower startup cost to launch an idea as opposed to a brick and mortar, right? There's a lot more involved. So I wanted to start small with the idea and then grow it. And so that's pretty much the route we took.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. I know it's been almost a year now. Now,
Yes.
Sylvia, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, how did you see yourself fitting in all of this? I know with the background and, it hit home with you with what you've experienced with losing your husband and your sister and what happened with, is it Rick that had the stroke?
Yeah. Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit about background about yourself and what you thought when he approached you with this.
Well, like he said, I lost my husband, and Rick had just suffered his first stroke. And we don't eat the healthiest in the house, but we do try to eat healthy. We try to incorporate vegetables whenever we can, fresh fruits, but it's always difficult, being from a Hispanic background. I love deep fried tacos deep fried tortillas, and the crispier the better, and slap on the sour cream, the cheese, and everything that's not good for you.
Yep.
And not that that's not good, it's delicious, but every once in a while, Andrew, it showed me if you incorporate a fresh pressed juice into your daily meals, that you're cleaning out your system, which is what we don't have in Aurora. Like he said, you could go buy something already prepackaged, but it's a lot better if you make it at home. What Andrew did is to get me more interested is he started making these protein drinks and these fresh pressed juices at home for me, because before he
Every
did,
day.
I had no no exposure to this, like,
Yeah.
wow, all I saw was the mess and the expense and, the cleanup.
It can get expensive.
Oh, absolutely. And then if you don't use the produce, it goes to waste. And so Andrew started making me juices and cleaning up so that I didn't have that bad taste in my mouth. No pun intended. After things. And so once he started doing that, and I was hooked. I was the very first drink that he made me was a carrot orange lemon, and which is our number 14. It's the Sunburst, and I loved it. And I found myself craving it after the third day.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. And I could see I was getting a little slimmer. I mean, after 3 days, my clothes started feeling better, and I'm like, wow, my son's got something here. And when he approached me, I said, absolutely, this is what we need. We started educating. Well, he's already educated in all the different benefits, but he started exposing me and educating me about the benefits. And of course, if you drink your vegetables, your body gets immediate nutrition from what you're putting in your body. And I felt that. I'm like, wow, if my husband was here, this is what he'd be drinking.
Absolutely.
My husband was healthy. He was never sick a day in his life. He got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer one Monday and died 2 Mondays later. Wow, it was that
gosh.
quick. Yeah, it was that quick. I mean, you would have never known before that day that he was ill, that there was something wrong with him. And he ate healthy, just not the right things.
Yeah, of course.
So I am very excited and very proud that we're in Aurora, where my sons were born and raised. I was raised here. I was born in Elgin. Raised in Aurora, been there over 50 years.
Wow.
And it's great now that we can provide the community with something healthy without breaking the bank.
And
Absolutely.
fast.
And
we try to be
fast.
fast. We try to be affordable, so that way, price isn't a barrier, time's not a barrier. You're not sitting there waiting in line. You're not
Right.
breaking the bank getting some healthy juice. So those are two main things that we try to focus on.
And everything is fresh, made to order. So, we're really excited. I'm extremely excited and can't wait for the future. I see Beans, Greens, Proteins on every corner, right next to Starbucks.
That's
Nice.
It. That's right.
That's beautiful. I love it. I
Or
love
right
it.
next to McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's,
The
yeah.
choice is yours.
Yes.
There's no excuses.
Absolutely. Get all the people who are feeling really guilty about grabbing a Big Mac.
Big Mac.
I'll get a juice, I guess, after the
Right,
Big
yeah.
Mac.
Well, get your
That
Big Mac
detox
and
drink.
come into BGP for a juice.
Absolutely.
You won't be sorry.
That's awesome. So I know me and Andrew have we go, but we hang out. We're friends. And he has an entrepreneurial spirit. This guy gives me just tons of tidbits of good information to even for my business, for this podcast, for a lot of things. So he has the background. He has that business savviness about obviously having this food truck in Vegas and everything. But for you, do you have a business background? Is this something that you've done in the past?
I've actually always worked behind the scenes.
Okay.
I was a network administrator for a company for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
After that, I was a system administrator for a school district, and then I was the HR director.
Okay.
I love working with people. I love helping people.
Oh, it shows when I go to your store.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Thanks. I
Absolutely.
just love it. I want everyone to be happy. I'm very proud of my son. I call him my mini-me, and he excels in areas that I kind of lack in, but I'm learning from him, and vice versa. We're both learning from each other, the paperwork that's involved, all the,
Let her take care of the admin
exactly,
stuff, right?
yes,
She's admin, yeah.
and the marketing
I'll go
and
buy bananas.
exactly, yes. He's the creator of majority of the items on our menu. So, but then we get together and we collaborate. We create new items, a new drink, a new protein shake, a new sandwich, a wrap, or, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun working with him because I saw he's a go-getter. He doesn't quit. He's always going, like the Energizer Bunny in Las Vegas, He was call me up, Mom, I've got this event going on. I'm like, wow. My son's doing it, and he's doing it on his own.
Absolutely.
He's always been that way since he was a kid, just a go-getter, full of energy, always trying new things, never afraid of anything. And, I'd like to dust my shoulder off and say that was a little bit of me.
Yeah.
But, we work really good together. no complaints here.
You produce an amazing son.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
stop.
Thank you
He's
very
brilliant.
much.
This guy's brilliant.
You know?
No, I love what you guys are doing with BGP and in that community too. I mean, it's
Thanks.
definitely needed.
Thanks.
That's definitely
Yes.
something that's missing in that area.
Yes.
But this is new. This is something you guys
Something new.
just started. So I want to ask you, what are some of the biggest challenges that you guys had to overcome being a new business? Especially like you have the entrepreneurial background, but say your mom didn't. Like, was there communication problems or like coming up with the name? What was probably one of the biggest issues you guys had just right off the bat?
Well,
So, one of the first things, one of the biggest challenges of opening our first brick and mortar was the planning. Talking to an architect, talking to the city, getting permits.
the permits.
How do you, ADA compliance? You need your plumbing, you need grease trap. So there was a lot of planning before one juice was even made.
Absolutely.
So that was actually our very first hurdle. I mean, it took us actually a year to open, to do the renovations, to do the build out, to get the permitting, to get the license. It took us a whole year. So that was challenge number one. And then finally, when we got that all done, came the operations. And then that brought on a whole new set of challenges. Communication, definitely. Even when work's done, I'm still like, hey, we need to do this. Hey, this is coming up. Hey, we need to make sure this. It's just go. Try not to forget things, or because sometimes you run out of an avocado, and it's kind of silly. You're like, oh, I'm out of avocados, but staying on top of things and making sure that things are being managed properly. Every day is a challenge in itself to manage things efficiently. But then creating the process was fun. So we've probably changed the layout of the kitchen like 10 times. And we probably might have another 10 more times.
Yeah, seriously.
Just to get efficient, just to get the processes down. So every day is learning. We have my brother there, and he's super smart, and he's got some good knowledge and background in food. And so, once all those little, big things are figured out, and then it's all just about working as a team and then communicating. It can get, we have a great dynamic. But sometimes you'll hear that stigma of a family business, right? And
it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's, because you just see each other all day, and you're like, you're still here, And so sometimes just giving each other space and like, all right, a little breathe room, right? Because you can get a little, tense.
Oh, I hear that 100%. I actually started a business with my dad, my first business ever when I was 18 years old.
Oh, nice.
And I live by that. Don't do business with your family.
It's tough.
But it was just,
It's tough.
I can see certain family members that I could work with, but my
Right.
dad in particular was not someone I could work with. Like, hands down. We are the same people. So you got two of the same people going at it. We're both very proud. We're very vocal, outspoken. So it was just a constant clash between us. We'd always, and I think a big part of it too with family, especially like your dad or your mom, is that, you have to differentiate that we're business partners. So you're my business partner in one arena, but you're my dad in another. And that needs to be differentiated, separate, essentially.
Yeah.
Because even when you're making business decisions, he would use that. He'd be like, I'm your dad. I'm getting that extra percentage, or you know what I mean? Like, it just gets...
Yeah, the parents get a little, hey, I'm still the
and
mom,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But it's like
Andrew has heard that from me.
taxes don't, they don't care if you're the mom. There's things that are like, okay, well, this is more. We're talking, it's a little bit, a little different scene. So sometimes you got to take off one hat and put on another. Yeah. And then they quickly switch it right back, right? Okay, well, I'm back to the mom now.
So I'm curious, just because, like I said, it didn't work out for me and my dad. We ended up parting ways with our business, and we sold everything. It was just like a disaster. Yeah. So obviously, I'm sure you guys went through those same struggles, but like, how did you make it? How did you guys get through that?
Patience. Yeah. Patience. I usually try to, keep the bar really high. I push, and then sometimes I need to learn when not to push. To like, okay, I'm pushing too much and it's driving them crazy.
Absolutely.
Me step back. So it's not so much what they need to do, it's what I need to do better. So that we keep our cohesion and we're not, stepping on each other's toes or getting, irritated, just being around each other. So you want to keep positive vibes. The way you deliver your message to your mom and business partner are very, you need to have tact. You can't just be like, well, why are you doing it this way? You know, which is sometimes how you want to get into it.
Especially with your family.
Right, because you have that comfortability
Yes.
as opposed to like, you know, a new employee where you're just going to communicate a little different. You
Absolutely.
Know? So for me, it's just a matter of me being mindful of how I approach things so that it doesn't cause tension. So I'm sure she has her ways.
Yeah.
And so does my brother.
What would you say is your way, Sylvia? How do you deal with this guy?
Oh my gosh! You know what? Sometimes
Prayer.
he's right. We have to be patient with each other. We need to remember who we're dealing with, because at the end of the day, we are family. We do have to go home with each other and see each other. You know, and just. You know, respect each other and trust that the other one has the same goal in mind, is to make the business successful, to bring good products to the community. And if we have that same goal, at the end of the day, we're good.
Yeah.
I get irritable sometimes, although you won't, you know, you probably don't believe that.
I've never seen it.
Right?
Come hang out more.
But you know, some days we all have our bad days, but we all have good days too. And hopefully the good days outweigh the bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, my business partners have great ideas. And I need to listen more to them also, because they've been out there, like they've both been exposed to all different levels of business, from the, you know, dishwasher to the manager and everything in between. They've both experienced this. They've both been there. I haven't. Like I said, I was behind the scenes. I maintained the data. I just called and I said, this is the report that I need, and I received it. And I really didn't need to socialize with a lot of people. And now I do, and I love it. I do love it, and I learn a lot from my sons both every day. And getting back to, you know, the kinks that we worked on in the beginning, like he said, we ran out of avocados. We do that sometimes. It happens sometimes, but I think it's a good thing. We can't project the market. It's very difficult market, especially in food. And we want to keep everything fresh. So we source local, which is another thing that we had to learn. You know, hey, do we buy $50 worth of avocados from one person and get it delivered one day and have it available for the rest of the week or 2 weeks? Or in chance that half of it's going to go bad because we don't, you know, use all of it in a week? Or do we want to go down to the local mom and pop market and support them? And we've been doing the latter.
Yeah.
And it's been working out really well for us.
That's awesome. That's excellent. I think this is cool, really cool for the listeners too, because, you know, a lot of these people in our group are young entrepreneurs, meaning new business owners, people new to business in general. And you're a young entrepreneur. You are the definition of a young entrepreneur, because you've never been in business before.
No.
Never owned a business,
no.
like you said, administrative, HR. Like you worked for someone most of your life.
In monkey business.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Love that. I love that. But no, that's cool. And I think that's really interesting too for the listeners and the people who are watching, is, you know, there's never too late. You know, you found your calling, essentially.
Yes, I love what I do. I love talking with my customers when they come in, with our customers. I'm excited because they're there, and I know that once they experience, whether it's the juice or a smoothie or a protein shake or food or wrap, the avocado toast, I know that they're going to remember us.
Absolutely.
Not just because of the quality of our foods, our drinks, but because of the experience that they receive when they get there. We have a first-timer bell. If you're there for the first time, we ring a bell. We are that excited for you. We want you to return. Our customers are family to us. They are obviously there because they want something new and different, so they're going to experience something new and different. Not like big chain stores, like you're just another number, another person that's walking in.
Absolutely.
And you know, I may not ever see you again. No, here I hope I see you. I have customers that come in 2-3 times a day.
Nice.
And that's fabulous.
Absolutely.
I love it. And I am excited every time they come in, you know, and I have a gift of memorizing names, and I try to remember everyone's name. Sometimes it's a little harder than others.
Yeah.
But for the majority, I do remember our customers' names, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, and I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what the future brings us.
I think you guys are going to have tons and tons and tons of success doing this
Thank you,
in
Matt.
this journey, this experience,
Thank you,
just based off of who you guys are in general.
Thanks.
Like you guys are problem solvers. You guys are getting it done. You guys are turning an idea into something, and I think it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
To get it more into some of these struggles, so it's only been a year.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, your year anniversary is this weekend, Saturday,
March 2nd. Yep.
So if anybody wants to come check it out,
Yeah.
Yep.
please.
300 East Indian Trail
There it is. That's it.
in Aurora. Yes.
Yep.
So you guys have been in business for a year almost,
Yep.
and we talked about the beginning struggles. Starting off. Now, what is like a midpoint struggle that you had to deal with? What's something that like in the middle of your journey, you guys struggled most with, and how you overcame that?
So the first time, like, we get a lot of different types of customers. We get vegans, we get people on the keto diet, paleo diet.
Mm-hmm.
So a different answer to the struggle of a business sense, but like what customers are asking for is then supplying what they're asking for. So we get vegans. Hey, do you have vegan this, vegan that? No, but let me look into it. What is it that you're looking for? Oh, you're looking for a soup. Okay, let me look at some vegan soups. Okay, so now I got to go do some homework, YouTube some videos, right? Look up some vegan recipes, go buy some ingredients, make it, taste it. Okay, it's good. Now put it on the menu and offer. So one of the challenges is supplying the demand.
Yes.
What are they asking for? And you don't just want to ignore it. Like, well, it's not on our menu, so we don't have it. So just listening, keeping up. Celery juice right now is trending, and so I've increased the amount of celery that we've been buying because we're getting more and more customers. Hey, can you throw in some celery? Can I get some celery juice? Whereas before, it was just in one of our drinks. Nobody, it wasn't specifically asked for. So keeping up, right? Keeping up with what the customers are asking. That in itself is a bit of a challenge.
Absolutely.
We're launching a new menu, and this new menu reflects what people had asked for that we didn't have that now we have. So.
Did you guys get that many vegan requests?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised because like Aurora, like you said, it's a lot of fast food, junk food, taco joints, stuff like that. I'm surprised that there was a demand for vegan food. That's kind of shocking.
Yeah, and so like what we get a lot is people will be like, oh, I need to go to Chicago to get vegan food.
Yeah.
I got to go, Geneva or
Naperville.
To Naperville.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, okay, here's an opportunity to be their stop. So instead of just ignoring it, I listened. So we got vegan mac and cheese, we got vegan soups, we got we're gonna have jackfruit tacos and plant-based burgers.
Love that.
So we have cauliflower crust pizza. People started asking. We don't do pizza, right?
Yeah.
We're a juice bar, but somebody wanted some cauliflower crust pizza, and enough people started asking. So then, hey, let's make this happen. And give them some good cauliflower crust pizzas. So now we have cauliflower crust pizza.
Wow, that's amazing.
Same with our avocado toast. Hey, do you guys have a? No, but we'll get it. So,
make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. What else you want? What else you want?
Yeah, I think that's really unique for you guys as a business is that accommodation. Because like in business, that's typically what it is. Like even in my business, it's hard because I don't have that kind of control. And so like people buy promotional products, I have to give them whatever I have. It's not like I can switch it up.
Right.
But, it's nice to be able to accommodate like that. Like you can literally turn the dial.
Yeah.
Someone asks you to turn it a little lower, turn it a little. I mean, I've been to your restaurant. I've had the BGP bowl, and your mom has tailored it to me.
Yeah.
I ask for certain things and I get them. It's cool, But I think that's what's different about your guys' place is that accommodation. And again, it makes you feel like you're in Sylvia's kitchen.
Right.
And she's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Are you vegan? I got you.
Yeah. How would you like it?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, do you guys get, are there certain things that you're just like, I can't do this? Like, is it impossible? Or have you been run into anything like that?
Well, I mean, like Andrew said, the cauliflower crust pizza, in the beginning, we couldn't make those.
Yeah.
We did have to go out and buy some new equipment.
Yeah, we had to buy a little oven.
Yeah, we bought a little oven. One of our customers gifted us an oven not too long ago.
Yeah.
Very,
That's
very
love
nice.
right there.
Yes.
Love, yeah.
Yes.
She got a lot of juice in return.
Oh, nice. Good.
It's the barter system.
It's the barter system.
Love it. Love that.
Yeah, we got some soup warmers, because we're making the vegan soups
soup.
now. So, we're rolling with the trends, you know, and hopefully they're not trends, they're lifestyle changes, you know, for a lot of our customers. It's what they want.
Yeah.
So we want to be that destination, that location that you could go to, and if you have something unusual that may not be on the menu, maybe we can make it later, you know, like Andrew said, do a little research, watch a few YouTube videos, you know, look up some
University.
Yes,
Yes.
that's where students of
That's
the YouTube University.
Yeah,
I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the new college.
Exactly.
Free.
Yes.
Free 99.
Free 99.
Gotta love it. That's awesome. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, you really don't ever have those issues. I mean, maybe in the beginning it's like, oh, I don't know if we can do that,
Right.
but you guys find a way.
Yeah, it's like,
Make a
okay,
way.
we don't do it now, but how can we
Yeah.
do it? What do we
Right.
need? What do we
Right.
need?
You start to implement. You start to
Yes.
look into how can we do this to make our customer happy.
Yes.
And again, that's unique. That is
Yes.
very different. That is
Yes.
cool. I love that. Okay, so now we're at year one.
Year
Almost.
one.
Almost.
Yeah, almost one.
Right now, today.
Today.
What happened today or last week maybe? Well, that was a big struggle for you guys, you know, because we're talking in the beginning of the business when it first started. You had, you know, the struggle of planning and getting all the codes up to par and getting the licensing and the brick and mortar up and running. And then 6 months down the road, it was adjusting that menu, accommodating for people's needs. And now we're here at year one. I mean, you guys have an awesome store. You guys have a great business. People are coming in. People are buying juice and food, and they're, you know, seeing Sylvia's smiling face and bringing you guys ovens. So like now, what is it? Now, what is the biggest struggle that you're dealing with currently?
So now it's okay. We got 1 year almost here in the books. Now, you know, what does the next year look like? Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, how do we plan to grow from what we just did to the next step? You know, how do we get more involved? How do we get more out there? How do we grow the business more so we can do more? And so this year's planning, we're going to be doing more events, right? So, you know, that has its own challenges in itself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Going out there and doing events, you need staff. You got to make sure you have the right equipment, right? Because I can't take my store equipment and be open at the store and take it to the tent. So we got to start pre-planning for that. You know, who's going to work it, right? Who's going to work the store and the tent? And then which events do you want to do, right? You know, these events, they have a fee, right? So you don't just want to throw money out there at every event. You got to be, particular. You got to do your research. You know, and so for this new year, it's about, you know, we went from crawling, now we're walking. Now, how do we start to pick up the pace?
Yeah.
Right? How do we start to pick up the pace? And, you know, planning talk. What did we do last year great or good that we want to do this year great? What didn't we do so well that we need to improve on? And you know, so it takes a lot of, you know, I can't just sit here and think, oh, we do everything great. You know, just there's nothing, you know, but because that's not true. You know, there's a lot of things that we can tighten
There's always
up.
room for growth.
Yes.
Always.
And then with this new menu, it's going to be, you know, a lot more. It's more of a workload for the kitchen. You know, now we have vegan mac and cheese. You got soups. You got cauliflower crust pizza. You got avocado toast. So now you have all this prep work. Okay, now how do we stay on top of it, right? How do, you know, don't fall behind? That probably means we got to come in even earlier. You know, which, you know, you start to get, you know, we have all these great healthy drinks, but man, I mean, you start to get, you know, exhausted. Like, it's like, all right. So part of the challenge is, you know, just building our stamina to keep going and to keep performing and to keep being here to provide for the community, which is, you know, exactly what our goal is.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited about this summer and some of the events that are going to be happening over at BGP.
Yes.
We got some cool
Yes.
plans coming
Yep.
up, some stuff, some festivals, and
Yep.
just cool events. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that is a really good way to propel your business.
Yeah.
You know, you gather people. You gather a marketplace, essentially. You create your own marketplace, and then people just know. They know that you're there. They know that what they can get at your store. You know, they know that you're available and that you're accommodating, you know, all these little things. So I think that's really important in itself. But I wanted to talk a little bit, something that just kind of hit me was bartering. You know, like this whole concept, I feel like entrepreneurs need to use this more.
Yes.
You know, everybody thinks, and I think it holds a lot of young entrepreneurs, new business owners back, is how do I come up with the money for this? How am I going to do this? I don't have the resources. Bartering.
Barter.
Like, you have skills.
Right.
Everybody has unique skills.
Yep.
You can barter those skills for another set of skills that are going to help get your business to where it needs to be. So a good example for you guys is, you know, you knew someone with an oven. You have juices.
Yeah.
Hey, here's some juices. Let's get this oven.
Yeah.
It's a nice exchange. So for anybody who's starting a new business, what would you say is a good way for them to barter, a good way like to exchange resources like that?
Well, I think initially, and the most important thing is to build a relationship with your customers. Make them feel welcome, make them feel as part of the family, part of the growth, because they want to see you succeed. They're there because you have something that they want.
Absolutely.
And they want to keep coming back. And they want to see you succeed because they want to keep coming back, having, drinking the delicious juices, the wraps and what have you. So if you have that relationship with them, they remember. They remember. That's unheard of, I think. A restaurant owner receives a gift from a customer, an oven that they're using on a daily. The moment our customer dropped it off, we plugged it in and used it within the hour.
That's awesome.
So and like I said, you get a whole different experience when you come into Beans, Greens, Proteins. Andrew is extremely knowledgeable on all our product and health and nutrition. I'm learning. I'm learning from him and our customers, and also these diets. The keto, the paleo, the vegan, the vegetarian. I was never exposed to anyone that had that lifestyle, so I am learning too. It's just having that relationship with the customers, learning what they want, and
How do you barter?
How do you barter? Hey, bring me stuff and I'll give you stuff.
Yeah, it's that simple. It really
pretty
is.
much, I'll use that juicer. You want a drink?
Yeah.
Or you want to wrap with that, or you want a bag of, but maintaining a good relationship and a good rapport with the community, with our customers.
Relationship. That's really big, in building and growing a business is your relationships. You get a lot of people that come in and they want you to buy, or they want to take. And, not a lot of people are, they don't necessarily want to give. But when you start like being genuine and, hey, how are you doing? How was that dinner that you went to last night? How'd the event go? And not so much about you, but hey, it's all about reciprocity, and then things just sort of organically happen, right? It's just all of a sudden, hey, I got this oven. Hey, we got some juice, right? It wasn't like, hey, we're looking for this oven, right? It just happened. It was just a genuine intent. With here, I want to give this to you. Well, all right. Well, let me give back. Let me give you something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be really nice to her, so that maybe she'll bring me an oven.
Yeah. There was not an agenda behind it.
So,
well, and then last year, Andrew, I don't know. I just wanted to throw this out there too. We had customers that would bring in their fresh vegetables from their garden.
Oh, wow.
This woman would bring in crates of cucumbers
That's
and
amazing.
apples, and she wanted us to use them for her drinks,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
totally fine.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
I'll make you a drink with your produce, and it's great. And we encourage customers, if they want to come in and
Bring their own stuff.
bring their own produce. Maybe
to a certain
to an extent. Yeah, to an extent.
Get carried away. Everyone's coming in with a box. And
Yeah, start moving in.
Make me
Yeah.
something with
This is my
Yeah.
corner over
And
here, guys.
Don't charge me. Yeah,
my
yeah.
box.
No, we're actually thinking of creating our own garden, a rooftop
Nice.
garden.
Ooh, that's a
Yes,
great idea. Have you
yeah.
guys ever heard of the Tower Garden?
I have, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That thing's amazing.
That thing is amazing.
Check it out. I mean, it might be good for you guys.
Yeah, for inside the store for sure. Yep.
Exactly. Indoor gardening, and it's all vertical. So it's like you don't have to have a lot of space. And I have one at home, and I grow like 20 different plants on it. It's pretty
No
awesome.
kidding.
I had cucumbers one year, and I had so many that I had to give them away.
Wow.
Oh.
Like, otherwise it would have gone bad. Tomatoes, too. Just
Tomatoes.
tons
Wow.
and tons of
Yeah,
tomatoes.
we do need to look into one of those.
It's a
Yes.
cool contraption. Let me know. I got you.
Right. Send me the link. Send me the
Absolutely,
link.
Yes,
absolutely. Well,
that's
I'm
right.
really glad you brought up the whole connecting part. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from business is
Yeah.
relationships, and I feel like a lot of people are lacking in that arena, and that's why we created this Young Entrepreneurs Network.
Yep.
The Young Entrepreneurs Podcast is just a little piece of what we're really trying to do, which is connect with people on a real, genuine, and personal level. Like you just said, I come to your store and you ask me about my day. You ask, how was the event last night, or we talk about football or whatever it is. It's like there was that bond immediately.
Yeah.
And even when I walked into your store for promotional products, of course, man, of course. You mentioned it the other day. Like, I came to you. I showed you what you
Right.
what you wanted. You know, he said, can you bring in some samples? I came to your doorstep,
Right.
and I showed you that you were important, and you know, it was more than just the products you were looking at, but I was looking at your whole business. Like, what are you guys doing? How can I help to grow your business? How can I help spread the word? You know, it was genuine and it was real.
Yep.
And a lot of business owners are not doing that right now.
They kind of dismiss things, or they just like, oh, you know. And you know, when you plant these seeds, you want to water them, right?
Yes.
You want to water these seeds. You don't just want to let them sit in the dirt and get all, you know, old and dried up. You know, you
Yep.
want to. You don't just want to hand your business card to everyone and then, you know, no follow up, and then, you know, no like customer relationship building. You know, you just want to, hey, you know, even like email, hey, hope everything's great. If you need anything, you know, here's myself. Feel free to
Yep.
reach. Well, this is what we got going on. You mentioned that you were interested in this. No like hardcore sales tactics like, hey, today only, but I need you to buy it before 5 p.m., right?
Yeah.
You know, that's just kind of like off-putting, right? It's just
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm here when you need me. This is what we're doing. How are things going? Just wanted to drop by and say hello.
Absolutely.
You know, and that goes a long way.
100%. Yeah. And I think that's what, like I said, a lot of business owners are lacking. I think that a lot of listeners can, especially you new business owners who are just getting into this, that's the biggest piece of advice I think to really hold on to and utilize is relationships.
Yep.
I've started 5 businesses in the past 5 years, you know, just trying stuff, throwing stuff up against the wall, seeing
Right.
what sticks. And it was networking. It was
Networking.
connecting with people that saved me in every single one of those businesses. When things were really bad and I shifted gears and I said, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to shift gears.
Yep.
All the same people that I was talking to before supported me in that next journey because I made those real connections. Because every person that I talked to, I wasn't just trying to sell them. I was trying to
Right.
be instrumental in their process, in their success, and work as a team and collaborate and things like that. And I think that was like the most impactful thing for me in particular with starting my business is what I had an audience already. I had people that were already there, ready to act, ready to help, ready to collaborate, to you exchange resources and all that good stuff. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. That's like a really big piece, especially
Well,
for
plus,
this
if
podcast.
I can intervene
Yeah.
for a moment, Matt, the
Yeah.
level of respect and professionalism that you bring in, and
I
you're very
appreciate that.
personable. You know, you're like Andrew said, you don't just come in here and say, "Hey, I got this deal, you got to buy now," and you know it's only good for 24 hours. Blah blah blah. No, you come in. We're real people. We treat each other with respect. We appreciate each other and each other's, you know, visions and you know, goals and struggles, you know, because it is a struggle.
Absolutely.
But we all recognize that and we support that. And you don't get that from a big box store or big box service, if you will.
Yes.
But, you know, you're down to earth. You're very respectful, knowledgeable in your field. That's very important.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Well, thank you so much, Sylvia.
welcome.
That means
Thank
the
you,
world
man.
to hear that.
Thank
And when
you.
Andrew had said that to me earlier this week, you know, it just hit me. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like it makes me really feel like I'm doing what I was intended to do.
Well, people appreciate that, and
Yeah.
they recognize that. You know, you're
100%.
not just looking at them like another order.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
another commission
paycheck.
check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you do want the business,
Yeah,
right? But I
of
mean,
course,
there's
of
an
course.
approach. There's a good approach.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Matt took that approach. It works.
Well,
Thank you.
Matt's mastered it.
Yeah, he's got.
Thank
the
you
approach.
so much, guys. That means so much to me.
You bet.
Well, we're gonna wrap things up here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It's
Thank you,
awesome
Matt,
to
for
have you.
having us.
I want to
Thank
just
you.
close it off with like a final thought.
Yeah.
You guys can both give your little pieces each, but what would you say for a new business owner, a new entrepreneur, someone who's maybe just getting started, just has an idea, or someone who's like in the neck of it, they're creating their brick and mortar, they're signing all the papers, doing all that stuff, or even someone who's been in it for 5 years and just still trying to figure it out? What would you say is the biggest piece of advice that you can give them to help them succeed?
Listen to everyone else. Take everyone else's advice. Even though you might think you already know what they're going to say, always listen, because there might be that one person that says that one thing that'll just trigger something. And appreciate everyone for their knowledge, for their time, for their energy, for their struggles, because we all want to be successful, and just appreciate everyone.
That's awesome.
Appreciate everyone.
Awesome.
My biggest advice, I would say, is enjoy the challenge, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. So if you're willing to, okay, I want to own a business, there are going to be things that hit you that might discourage you, that might make you think that, what am I even doing? And it might just be, what you didn't expect, but just make sure to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy growing what the idea you're trying to put out there. It's not always going to be perfect. I mean, you could outline, make a business plan. Sure, that's a good guideline, but then real life is going to happen. The market's going to happen.
Yep.
Things are going to happen. Be ready for it, but don't be hard. Don't be so hard on yourself that you start to like not enjoy going to work, or you don't enjoy, waking up or sending back emails. Get excited, get pumped. Yup, we're going to do this, and then just make a plan. Make a plan. It can get very overwhelming. You got to do a lot of stuff, but just enjoy it, do it. If you fail, learn from your failures, and try again.
That's amazing. Awesome words of advice from both of you. I really appreciate you guys being on the show again, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you guys have a busy schedule with the store and having manpower over there to make juices and bowls and all kinds of good stuff. So again, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? Facebook, Instagram, website, all that good stuff.
Yep. So our website is www.beansgreensproteins. Our Facebook is @beansgreensproteins. Our Instagram is @beansgreensproteins without all the vowels. So
okay.
And then we have a Snapchat as well.
Cool.
And then our telephone number is 630-474-5230, 300 East Indian Trail, Aurora, 60505.
Cool. Well, go check out this store. Beans Greens Proteins is an amazing place with amazing people and amazing food. So I highly recommend them. I highly recommend you go check them out. Thank you again for being on the show with us today.
Thank you,
and
Matt.
talking to some of these amazing entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and hopefully someone can learn a ton from what we talked about today.
Absolutely.
All right, let's close it out. Thanks again, guys.
Take care.
Stay healthy.